important things which currently needed in India, and not in India exported. What we do, like we manufacture paper, we print paper, we recycle paper, everything what we do in industry. We need one thing, that is what is called as utility as a skill in the industry. So when you need a skill, you need a boiler. Okay, some process boiler. The moment you need a boiler, you need to generate the steam, you need to burn something. So when you burn something in fossil fuel, whether the coal, lignite, or maybe let's say as an oil, furnace oil, or maybe as a gas. So whenever you burn anything, you definitely have some pollutants emitting. So up to jalapur, something will come out of that. So there are pollutants called sulfur dioxide, hydrogen dioxide, dust, particulate matters, and carbon monoxide, which is not good for the health. So our previous video was AQI over there, AQI over there. AQI is what basically air quality index, which is in some of the particulate matter and the toxic gases coming from the vehicular exhaust and from the industrial exhaust, or paradi area, so and here our micro competency is where we do have a monitoring equipment, because unless you monitor the pollutant, neither you can control or neither you can remove that. So we have since 30 years we are able to screen for the gas detection, analyzers, and environmental emission equipment, and everybody is doing that. There are a lot of manufacturers, a lot of manufacturers in India, maybe integrators, and a lot of manufacturers in the world. There are very competent manufacturers in the world with big names. What is different than us? I'm here, I'm going to speak to all my case. That's very simple. Now, anything you have an equipment, measuring equipment, you need to have a validation of that. There is a calculation of the validation. If I'm measuring 1 meter, is it really 1 meter, or it is 1.1, or maybe 0.9? Now, how to do this? That's very simple. Now, what are 1 meter here? But there has to be, there is an international system. There is a standards level for that. So there is an international standards. There is okay, if you measure with this methodology, then it is correct. If not, then probably again you have to go with that flexible methodology, which is defined by the international forum or the international standards. Now, manufacturing of gas analyzer detection is very easy. I will say, okay, I measure sulfur dioxide, which is 10 ppm. But how to ensure that it is correct? So for that, my measuring equipment has to go undertake that testing procedure. Now, testing procedure is not that testing हो गया बता दिया, no. There is an international standard. The standard defines the process how to test that way. So here the difference between the manufacturer of the international and us is that this is the third facility in the world. So far, all European countries and Asian countries are ruled by the European standards and few of the US standards. Unfortunately, since last 10-15 years, where the Pollution Control Board of India and the Ministry of Environment and Forest implemented very strict regulations for all the boilers users, includes the paper industry, chemical, pharma, steel, power plants, everywhere, that whatever they emit from the chimney, the stack, they need to measure and control the emission into the certain emission limit values. So these values was defined by the government or the Pollution Control Board. So simultaneously, to measure that, you need instrumentation. So that instrumentation team comes into the picture. Now, when I use an instrument, I need to ensure that my instrument is calibrated, validated, and it is being matching to the certain measuring standards or the performance standard of that measuring. Otherwise, I can give any equipment, I can manipulate, I can show the best reading, not give that so much of 10 time difference to that. So here comes the reliability of the things. So when I am measuring, I should know what I am measuring. Yeah. And it is true or wrong. It is traceable and it is real or not. So that was the thought process when we initiated our manufactured product. See, I am a manufacturer of emission monitoring system. So before I launched into my company, if I deliver to you, I need to ensure that what equipment I am giving or meeting to the international testing standards and it will be performance tested. Hence, you are talking about it, paper industry, there was sustainability. You know, a lot of our prime minister said 4 years back, ESG, environment sustainability का बात शुरू हो गया। तो सब लोगों ने क्या किया, एनजीटी ने कंपल्सन किया, MOF और सब इंडस्ट्री ने ESG डिपार्टमेंट खोल दिया। Now, the sustainability is what? What is the main ingredient of the sustainability? Is a real data. If I want to form a policy of 2040, 2070 of net zero, I need to measure currently what is my carbon emission or what is my pollutant emission. Unless I know that, I cannot drive the policy of correcting to that. Now, but that measuring, the data which I have, which is not correct. So what will happen? Your children and my children will say, my father developed a policy, it's not working, it's collapsed. So here the reliability has to be a part of the measurement process. So here the credibility of the emission monitoring, I have a very specialized emission monitoring. I may not be talking about a lot of things over the paper, but paper is my customer, paper industries are my customer, and hence we have a lot of experience into the paper industry, boilers and everything with that. And sorry to say that, but it is not so professional paper industries. When you go in the utility department, sorry, but this is my evaluation is that if you go in the utility department of the paper industry, probably you can't walk there, you can't step there, you can't smell there, So such type of industries where we have to explain them, we have to convince them what is sustainability, how to improve. And it's not that only measuring, the vacuum measure, the pollution group data data, I said, data chala gaya, man push, pollution group push, sub push. But that's not the case. We have gone further. When I was in last year in the international conference, delivering the same that I introduced the method that using this equipment, using the pollution monitoring equipment, how you can save money. What can you think of? That the pollution को डाटा ही देना है, मेरे को क्या प्रॉब्लम है? But no, अगर आपके लिए use for yourself and see that how you can make money out of that by optimizing your process, by correcting your burning process, by your commercial process and your water purity. So here, this is what method operators and manufacturers to define. So the question always I ask to people, आपसे compliance के लिए ले रहे हो, pollution portal है, तो लिख के दिया है, मेरे को लगाना है. So 90% of industries that actually run organized or unprofessional so online, only developed or made industry for making money. They only comply that pollution portal लिख के दिया है, मेरे को submit करना है. So I can buy any equipment and the data should go to the CPCP Central Pollution Board server. So, or if you are not only from the compliance, I didn't say you can't come, you don't have a compliance. You have a compliance, but along with that, you have a process optimization, environment conservation, and you really want to save money. Then this testing method, the product which we provide, which has gone under the testing of the European standard, which is applicable to the entire world for the emission monitoring system that has to do. So we call it as quality assurance. So the equipment has to be a few standards, maybe it's a technical, unless you are going over the emission, or you are not able to worry much on this. So what are the labels are there? It gives you a systematic approach. एक सिस्टम बनाना है, आपको टेस्ट प्रोसेस कैसे इक्विपमेंट लगाना है, matching and coming the same? If not, then I need to evaluate my system. But these are there are maybe around 10 to 15 clauses are there which my equipment has to pass that testing facility. So the process is you can systematic assessment verification. अभी मैंने measure किया. अभी मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? मेरा level ज़्यादा है. So I will go back to my process. मेरा ESP का process, back filter, मेरा scrubber लगा हुआ है. उसको optimize कर सकता हूँ जिससे my levels goes into the limit emission limit value which has been permitted by the operation board or maybe internationally. Then the components. What are the components that used into that? So that has to be a rubber components matching to the standard which goes under the testing and gives a quality output. So this is the very technical, but this is what is the process internationally all the emission monitoring system manufacturer has to follow. Now there is a quality assurance level 1, 2, 3 and then there is an ASP. ASP is called annual surveillance test. You know, I will do a small take 2 minutes about what is happening here. In 2014, it was drafted in 2013, it was started implemented in 2014 by the Commission Control Board to publish a small guidelines. It was guidelines is considered as a barbell for the emission monitoring system. उनमें लिखा गया कि this highly correlated 17 category of industry, paper is also a part of that. Chemical, dyes, intermediates, petroleum, oil, and gas, and all these people are a part of that 17 highly correlated category industry. In that they say that it is compulsory to install the continuous pollutant emission monitoring system at the boiler exhaust. The boiler का checking होता है, platform होता है, कहीं आपको measure करना है. And these are the limits. इससे ज़्यादा आप emission नहीं कर सकते. Now that has come. And एक चीज जो उन्होंने डाली, because we are Slavic people, we are Slavers, British culture, Pakistani and Indian. तो हम जो कुछ भी लिखते हैं, यूरोपियंस, अमेरिकन्स, इंग्लिश पीपल जो बोलते हैं, वो हम लिख देते हैं. पहले बाद में सोचना शुरू करते हैं. पहले हम तो इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं. तो वो ब्यूरोक्रेसी ने क्या कर दिया? This is the open forum and bureaucracy sitting they can challenge. तो ब्यूरोक्रेसी ने क्या कर दिया? It has to be an EU German and US EPA US certified product. Okay? Now the standards are of European, there are a few standards of American. Now the certified products, इसका मतलब इंडिया वाला जाएगा ही वहाँ पे, तो वहीं पे जो प्रोडक्ट बन सकेगी, वही प्रोडक्ट का प्रमोशन करके यहाँ पे बेचना शुरू कर दिया. And environmentally, this entire process. Indian industry, not India, Indian industry, EU industry as an American industry, has invested in this 10 years more than $6 billion. We don't know what is a huge amount it is, of buying the instrument as per the guidelines. Now, EU is certified, which EU is a laboratory in Germany. It's not a standard. It's a laboratory. जैसे एक एग्जाम्पल लेके आपके पैथोलॉजी लेबोरेटरी में आप जाते हो, ब्लड यूरिन टेस्ट के लिए आप देते हो, नेक्स्ट डे डॉक्टर बोलेगा कि आपको मैं सर्टिफाइड करता हूँ कि आप परफेक्ट हो, सो आप निकल जाओगे लेके. नो, व्हाट नेक्स्ट यू विल आस्क भाई, आई वांट टू नो माय न्यूमेरिक वैल्यू, व्हाट इज माय एलडीएस, व्हाट इज माय एसडीएस, व्हाट इज माय हेमोग्लोबिन, यू नो, दैट इज कॉल्ड अ रिपोर्ट. That is called as a report. Now, what has happened invariably, as Indian industry cannot afford such a high cost of equipment which is coming in importing from these countries. So they also learn how to manage money. So what they done is, on the basis of the EU certified or a US EPA certified, they started developing the product for the made for India. You know, नरेंद्र मोदी से पहले 2014 के पहले इंडिया में मेड इन इंडिया बोला जाता था, मेड इन इंडिया. मोदी सर के आने के बाद मेड इन इंडिया के साथ एक और जुड़ गया, दैट इज मेक इन इंडिया. एंड देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस. इफ यू गूगल इट, यू विल फाइंड अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस इन दैट. ओके, मेड इन इंडिया एंड मेक इन इंडिया. एंड द थर्ड concept introduced by this multinational companies for the developing countries users is made for India. when he started first facility for this, as being a nationalist, I thought let's go with the National Accreditation Board in India. Because हम इंडियंस को पहले इंडिया को जाते हैं, टेस्टिंग फैसिलिटी बना दी हमने, हम बोलते हैं आप accredit करो. 9 months they didn't cut up. We have to file an appeal, the legal appeal, and they say that we don't have a competency to audit for this stuff. For what? The standard which is being implemented by the Ministry of Environment and Forest and the Civil Procedure Board for the Indian industry to use this equipment has to be used. उसके लिए उसके पास competency. Nevertheless, we are the entrepreneurs, you know, we are the brains of India. We went to the International Accreditation Service USA, and the auditors came from Canada and USA. They audited the laboratory, and they told us, probably we were not knowing till then. They told that
अभी और अंजन से वाला वन पत्र
हमको मालूम नहीं था हमने क्या बना दिया.
இல்லடா பாத்ரூம் சீக்கிரம்
अभी 2014 में हमने एक इक्विपमेंट खरीदा. एग्जांपल
சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு அஞ்சு நிமிஷம்
सर्टिफाइड एज पर द स्टैंडर्ड. राइट. अभी उसका एनुअल सर्वेलेंस टेस्ट टू बी डन एनुअली. अगर वो आप नहीं करते हो
Podium mic and mic. Podium mic and mic. Get mic.
The certified program by the PUB, by the accredited laboratory, for the standard, has to carry out annual surveillance test every year. Am I right? It's very simple. What one कर सकता है? Accredited laboratory. अभी हिंदुस्तान में accredited laboratory थी ही नहीं. इसका मतलब all the big people, the government sector, all the sectors those who install the hi-fi systems importing in India, वो सब को वो अपना चिमनी से पूरा पूरा निकाल के हर साल जर्मनी भेजते होंगे. कोई नहीं भेजता. So the question will come here, after 1 year or so good product, so-called certified product loses its certification in the very next 13 months, and then after still the pollution board accepts the real-time data considering that it is valid data. So the problem is billions of money rupees Indian industry has spent at the end of the day today, since last 10 years. Our pollution control board is accepting this generated data on the server on real time. You know, यहाँ से भी generate हुआ है, जैसे IoT से data जाता है उनके server पे, और उस server पे data इकट्ठा होते हैं. So in 2018, the Prime Minister of India wrote a small letter to the Central Pollution Control Board. My industry has invested such money under this project. What is the status and reliability, and what is that effect? If I done that, then Maha would come to law validation. And the answer was, we are not trusting this data because it seems to be a reliable data. क्यों? You ask them to install the TEU certified. So that is a reliable. So, ऐसे in our country, a lot of gazettes, a lot of guidelines are being made with such a small addition of the words which keeps the Indian entrepreneur and support the importers. The truth doesn't come through. So reality, reliability of measurement data. So our equipment was manufactured by us has passed through all this thing, and it was possible because the Indian laboratory got developed. Otherwise, if I was sending my equipment to Germany for testing of this, it cost not less than 1.5 crore. And you will feel that any entrepreneur or a startup people can afford this, because here no government is going to help you. No government is going to help you here. Because you are developing this, you are giving that business. The business and associations will be managed as companies in that. is the testing is एक ही चिमनी है मेरा, उसके अंदर मेरा मैन्युफैक्चर दो सिस्टम साइमल्टेनियसली एक ही चिमनी में लगेगा और इसको 90 डेज तक हम लोग कंटिन्यूस उसको टेस्ट करना पड़ता है फॉर द रिलायबिलिटी. Hence you can get the validation of the test for the standard. So this is what is the small diagram of how the things works into this testing methodology. See, why we are like so proud of running this. ऐसा नहीं है कि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया नहीं कर सकते, ऐसा नहीं है कि पोल्यूशन बोर्ड नहीं कर सकते, ऐसा नहीं है कि नेशनल फिजिकल लेबोरेटरी इससे ज़्यादा होशियार साइंटिस्ट मेरे पास है. It's not like that. The underlying word is very simple. There is a lack of intention of doing this. So these are all tests. The laboratory test has to be done. But there is one laboratory, the EU India करके आ गया है, इंडिया में बराबर है. वो क्या बोलते हैं, हम कोई वन करके देंगे, आपको कोई वन उस क्या करेगा, इसमें से दो टेस्ट पिकअप करेगा. Because he doesn't have facility in India. I don't say that EU Germany doesn't have. But EU India doesn't have a proper facility or an accredited for that. So manipulating the word, हम लोग होशियार हैं, हम लोग बहुत होशियार हैं दूसरे बात में. हम लोग एक वर्ड पकड़ के उसको ब्रांडिंग कर देते हैं, जैसे ब्रांडिंग वाले वही करते हैं, बराबर है. आपके दांत एकदम वाइट हो जाएंगे. So what happened there? So there are few integrators in India who doesn't have a technology, who doesn't manufacture anything. और वहाँ से उठा के इकट्ठा करके बना देते हैं. For them, this is the business. So they will what they will do? दो पैरामीटर मेजर करके टीम का लोगो डाल देंगे, टीम सर्टिफाइड. और बायर नेवर गूगल यू. बायर जो है कभी टेक्नोलॉजी को गूगल नहीं करता. अगर समझो तो से टीम क्या है. आज की तारीख में आई एम इंटरेक्टिंग, आई एम टॉकिंग टू मोर देन 15 to 20 इंडस्ट्रीज month. If I ask the young engineers and probably the senior engineers, what is PUE, they will say it is a standard. It is not a standard, it is a laboratory. 90% people don't know this. Why? Because हमारे दिमाग में 2014 से मल्टीनेशनल कंपनियों ने दिमाग में घुसा दिया है कि TUE certified इतना ही बोलेगा. And that has made me catch up. We browse a lot of things on Google, but we don't browse the things which is needed for our future. So this was the laboratory test, this is for the field test. This is done for the 90 days.
Hello.
अब ये clause है.
Hello.
जो clause 8.3.
నా ఒంటి పోవాల కొంచెం బిన్న రమ్మన్నాను.
We got very few here.
ఆ బిన్న రమ్మంటే నా తాంగ కదా.
Having a calibrated, validated, EU certified equipment is not enough.
కొంచెం సీమ అంజు నిమిషం డా.
But it's not enough. Standard says homogeneity test. What is an homogeneity? मेरा जो चिमनी है, वहाँ प्लेटफॉर्म है, वहाँ एक सैंपलिंग पॉइंट मेरे को सैंपल प्रोब लगाना है. Now, what is an exact probe of 360 डिग्री जो है उसका? कहाँ से मैं प्रोब कहाँ पे लगाऊँ? That is more important. So उसके लिए 3 दिन का टेस्ट है. And it costs around 80,000 rupees. मैं इंडस्ट्री में जाता हूँ, कोटेशन देता हूँ, सर ये कर, अरे छोड़, इंडस्ट्री को डाटा भेजना है नहीं है. वो क्या होमोजेनिटी एक जगह पे लगा दे, जहाँ पोल्यूशन पूरा सैंपल देता है, वहीं पे लगा दे. This is the lack of, manipulating the standards and manipulating the other norms. So these are the few tests which was carried out on our equipment. The programs with the chimneys, and this is the control room where we do the scientific identity of their cat. And the testing was conducted with the master controllers and various calibration classes. So with the team, and entire test was completed, not there was nothing, was a manual. All the data was taken digitally, and you cannot manipulate or tamper with data. So the benefits. So data is reliable and accurate. By having this, you are sure about your process emission data are reliable. The moment you have a reliability, knowing that this is reliable, then you say that it is reliable, still my SOP emission is more than 200. So then I have to go back to my process. then I can improve my process conditioning, my filtration, my controlling device, and you can say, अभी एक छोटा सा example, if you are electrostatic perforator, probably I don't know how many people will know the ESP. You know, ESP is used for the dust reduction, you know, and it consumes the high electricity. अभी क्या हुआ, पहले 150 मिलीग्राम का लिमिट था, बाद हो गया 100, उसके बाद हो गया 50, और आजकल नए काम में हो गया 30 मिलीग्राम. Now, accordingly, you need to have an ESP stage. There are people who are using 3-4 stage of ESP with a high electrical consumption. अभी मैं बोलूँ आपको, if you have a reliable dust monitor, actually measuring not dust concentration, but it measuring dust load. Why because subject I can take 2 hours for that. What is the difference between milligram of metal fluid and between the milligram of normalized metal fluid? Is a big question. लेकिन सबसे आसान इंडिया में क्या है? एन जिसमें कम पड़ रहा है तो एन लिख देगा, तो काम आसान. और इधर बोल रही मुझे क्या तो एन कहाँ से लाया? So now, but if I say actually you are measuring the pollutant load is not what you are getting reading here. अगर मैं बोलूँ आपका सही normalize करोगे तो आपका 100 ही है. So probably you can reduce the frequency of your ESP, or maybe you can reduce the scale of ESP. Now this will save the money for industry. But if I say like you have a dust monitor with cost to be around direct मिल जाता है यार, वो भी 3 महीने की रीडिंग में मिलता है, और हमको जो रीडिंग चाहिए वो दिखाने वाला मिलता है. And the same person, the CEO of that company, or maybe the chairman or vice president of that company, at the evening will go at home, will kiss her wife and bachas, and will take her a nice dinner on the weekends. And what they want to do, they will love you. एक SIP का फॉर्म भरेंगे अपने बच्चों के लिए, एक FD खोलेंगे अपने बच्चों के लिए. What he wants to do? That I take care of you, your future, and I love you. Next day morning मैं बोले ये थोड़ा काम कर दिया, पैसा बचाओ, 10 जाने दो, मैं टीम को सेटिंग कर दे. The democratic world. We don't believe in this testing and standards. We only believe in the certification and documentation. मेरा कागज क्लियर होना चाहिए. बाकी सब सेटल. So we as an Indian industry, Indian company, as a manufacturer, we try to see that we give a reliable solution, more of a reliable, validated solution to Indian industry, where you can reach to a future goal of sustainability. So these are a few products. This is the line diagram, how the systems are installed, and do the things. This is more of the spoiler or maybe project people are there, so we can have a more discussion on this. So, as I told you, we were, as an Indian manufacturer, we were unable to reach to the either in Germany or in UK due to the cost factor, but we invested, and our motive was that my India cannot have an award. We have the highest grade, biggest, the topmost grades in India. We are all intelligent people. If you travel the world, you will find that you are much more intelligent than any part of the world. What are we missing this? What are we missing this? Intention and other than this, nationalism. We only say he really don't put it on the heart. That is. हम लोग convenience देखते हैं, अरे आराम मिलता है, छोड़ो नहीं मिलता है. So that is what. So this is the first award in Asia and the third award in the world. Now I think one beautiful thing. The recording हो रहा है, सब लोग गया जाएगा. This is most required for the government of India. Website operation board को ये award ही चाहिए India में. 2015 से कभी की बजट हुई है इंडिया में. आज तक रिश्यूम हुआ. नरेंद्र मोदी सर ने 2019 में एक ध्यान के गैजेट पब्लिश किया. तो भाई करो कुछ. Because these possibility taken care of into this. उन्हें बोला मैं 70 करोड़ रुपए देता हूँ, 69.6 year of age, average age, 3 girls and 4 boys. तो इंडस्ट्री में आपको engineers बोलते हैं, अगर वही गवर्नमेंट में होते तो वो साइंटिस्ट बोला has developed this laboratory. So you feel that the people, the scientists of India who can reach to the moon, the first time in the world, cannot develop this laboratory. But there is a lack of intentions and nationalisms. Because I don't want to challenge the dollars, euros and pounds. So it was a lot of efforts. We invested today by this time in the started in 2018. And in this year, we have invested more than 8.5 crores. Not 70 crores. 8.5 crore हो गया है, और भी 3 साल पहले हो गया। और ये चीज किसको मालूम है? सेंट्रल पोजीशन बोर्ड के चेयरमैन को मालूम है, और स्टेट पोजीशन बोर्ड के चेयरमैन को मालूम है, एनजीटी को मालूम है, एमओएफ को मालूम है, but they feel shame in impaneling this lab developed by the private industry. So, it is a crime in the way by not allowing this facility to give it given to the industries and keeping a barrier on that. Technology है और आप उसको नहीं देना यूज करना नहीं देते हो, उसका मतलब it's a crime in other way. But it's happening. So this is my last slide. So this is the world's only. And this we say since 2.5 years. And for your information, I've been participating in a lot of international expos and conferences, and been invited to this conference, the speakers. Everywhere my slide is there, the slide. And so far, none of the multinational companies, the big banks, has challenged me that we cannot write this. Or they are not getting an illegal notice to me that I cannot write this. So, be proud for in India. There is a lot of things are there in India. We have a lot of good brains who really work well. The only thing, 2 things, intentions and nationalism can work. We have to struggle a lot. If I could have done this in Germany, probably in USA, I could have flourished like I could have come to a chopper here. A chopper in Shah. Okay? But it's not sacrifice. Being an Indian, they are okay. So, ensuring reliability and sustainability. The sustainability comes when you have an accurate data. This is the main ingredient for sustainability. 3 days back, I was in the global summit of that sustainability in Delhi. And after, लोग इंडिया के छोटे होते हैं, हमको बात में बुलाते हैं। पहले बोले लोग आते हैं, तब हम लोग को बुलाते हैं। एक सेशन दे देते हैं, वो भी बोल के जाते हैं। 15 मिनट। वो लोग 15 मिनट का पार्टिसिपेट करो, उसमें कोई इश्यू नहीं है। तो बोल के जाते हैं, हम 15 मिनट तो आयुर्वेद में हम तो हमारी जैसे हम तो 10 मिनट में खत्म कर देते सर, लेकिन हमको भी बोलना है। But the thing was, the entire mood of that conference, it's a live, it is there on the LinkedIn. Entire mood was changed. जो लोग 1.5 दिन को डिस्कशन किया है, मैंने 10 मिनट का खत्म। So you don't want to be a democratic people. Let's talk on the ground level. If you really want to be a net zero or meet to the only vision, you have to really work on the ground level, not on the superficial. मेरा क्या? मैं तो चला जाऊँगा 20 साल तक। हम लोग ऐसा ही सोचते हैं कि बच्चा कितना बच्चे चले जाओ। Okay, but it's not. Our legacy must have thought of that. We would have not been here. Right. So this is what our efforts. So whatever we deliver, we have demonstrated here in the movement also. So whatever we deliver, we are sure about the reliability and compliance. And I'm sure the industry by using this can save a lot of money out of that also. Thanks so much. If you have any questions, I'm here.
Thank you for the insightful session, sir. Before you move on, I would like to invite Mr. Prithviraj Jayapal to be here. After this session, we could not attend him, so I would request again if he would do it. Now moving to